You may be in your mid to late 50s or early 60s and feel that retiring anytime soon is unrealistic because maybe your nest egg isn't where you think it needs to be at this stage in your life. Well, today I want to show you how you can turn things around, especially in this particular age bracket. And if you follow my instructions, you may be able to double your nest egg in the 5 years leading up to your retirement. This time frame is one for excitement and promise, not discouragement and anxiety. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a certified financial planner and managing director at URS Advisory. I specialize in all things retirement, and today I'm going to show you how the 5 years leading up to retirement can be the difference between a difficult and limited retirement and a great retirement. So let's get started. I want to discuss the most important and powerful tool for our savings, and that is compound interest. Albert Einstein famously said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and that he who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. It's a simple concept in theory, but it's actually really hard for us to visualize. For example, if I offered you $1 million or a penny that doubles each day for 30 days, which one would you choose? Our human brain automatically wants us to choose the $1 million. However, you would get over 5 times more than that if you chose the penny doubling. Let's look at how this works. Okay, it's easy to picture the first 25 days, right? The increases in the very beginning are barely noticeable. But once we get to days 26 through 30, we can see the explosive growth that occurs. It's the snowball effect, and it gets me every time. The most obvious example of this is through investing. We all know that there's no investment out there that can double every day or double every year. But as we've learned, investing is a long-term game where you'll see results over decades, not days. But the magic of compound interest is exactly the same. Let's take the S&P 500. Over the past 40 years, the Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF, ticker symbol VOO, has risen at a compound annual rate of 11.2%. which would have turned an initial investment of $1,000 into over $86,000 today. The first 5 years of your investment growing at 11.2%, isn't that exciting? As your $1,000 grows to $1,700, doesn't make a big difference. However, on the 28th year, your $1,000 has turned into $21,697. Now it has your attention, and it just explodes from there. Therefore, if you've been saving every year, you may not realize that the interest you earn at this point in your life has huge effects on your nest egg. So let's illustrate this with an example. Let's say that Bill and his wife Pam have $375,000 saved between them at age 60. Their desired retirement annual expenses are $7,000 a month, and at 65 Bill will receive a combined $4,500 from Social Security. This means that they have a $2,500 monthly income gap to fill with their investments to maintain their lifestyle. Using the simplified 4% rule, they'll need a nest egg worth $750,000 to supply their needed income. Let's say that they're invested primarily in stock and that the average return over the next 5 years is 7%. How will they double their current $375,000 nest egg to the $750,000 that they need? Fortunately, there is a simple formula for this. In order to double your investment using a 7% rate of return in 5 years, you need to save 10% of your existing nest egg each year, which on $375,000 is $37,500 per year. So think about what you currently have invested through your brokerage accounts, 401ks, health savings accounts, cash balance plans, etc. If you want to double that over the next 5 years, you need to save 10% of what you currently have using a 7% rate of return. Now, let's say that you're a more conservative investor and that your average return is 5% over the next 5 years. That means that Bill and Pam would have to save $4,000 a month or $48,000 per year, which is closer to 13% of their original $375,000 nest egg. My favorite online compound interest calculator is through moneygeek.com. I'll put a link to it below so you can go there and play with your numbers and figure out how much you need to be saving to double your nest egg. Some quick tips before I move on to the next reason. First, try saving this money into a Roth account so that your growth from here on out is completely tax-free. If you have a 401k, make sure you're saving in the Roth portion. There are no income limits to doing this, and the maximum contribution via salary deferral starting at age 50 is $30,500 for 2024. If you have a lot of discretionary income each month, you can also consider a mega backdoor Roth, which I explain in full detail in my video here. Be sure to watch it after this one. Remember, if your nest egg is worth $1 million, but it's all pre-tax, it's only going to be worth a fraction of that to you in the future. Whereas if it's Roth monies, it is 100% yours now and for as long as you live. Remember, guys, we're currently in the lowest tax regime in history, and that's anticipated to change in 2026 with the expiration of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Real quick, if we look at the chart here, we can see that in 2026, tax rates will be increasing by 1 to 4%, and the brackets will also be shrinking, meaning that more of your income will be taxed at a higher rate. Just a little extra motivation to take the tax hit now to boost your tax-free savings. I'll put a link to this chart in the description below. Also, check out my Ticking Tax Bomb video too, as it gives you real-life examples of why tax-free savings are so helpful. Also, be sure to max out your health savings account if you have a high-deductible health plan. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe. This helps get this information out to as many people as possible, just like you, and we really appreciate it. Now, you're probably all thinking, how the heck am I going to save an extra 10% of my nest egg each year? And this brings me to the second reason that these 5 years are so influential. Most people in their 30s and 40s feel nervous that they're not able to save as much as they should be saving each year because of how high their expenses are. Maybe you have multiple children, which can cost a fortune. Just ask me. And between that cost plus your mortgage, you just don't have what it takes to save each month to retire when you want. This can feel demotivating to us when we're trying to save for our future. However, once you reach 55, 60 years old, your kids may be out of the house, your mortgage may be paid off or close to it. So let's say that Bill and Pam are almost finished paying off their $300,000 mortgage at a 4.5% interest rate. This is a monthly savings of $1,500 or $18,000 per year. Well, now we're halfway to our goal of $37,500 saved to double their nest egg. If you're not finished with your mortgage and you have kids, maybe you just finished helping them through college. So how much money does this free up for you each month? Let's say that Bill is saving $20,000 per year in his 401k, bonus points for saving in the Roth portion, bringing their total to $38,000 in annual savings. This allows them to accomplish their goal, right? And we're not even including a 401k match or any savings by Pam. Using the more conservative example of 5% growth, we'll need Pam to save $8,000 per year in her 401k or IRA. It really isn't that hard to achieve this when you break it down. So looking at your situation, can you make a few tweaks to make this happen? This is why the final few years before retirement can make an enormous impact on our quality of life in retirement. Where can you divert cash flow from old expenses into your investment accounts? I challenge you to do this exercise for yourself and get excited for the last 5 years of work before you retire. Thank you for watching and see you next time.